Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominic Dougherty and Drew Fasy.
And we are your local guys.
What's the matter, Drew? What? No dancing today, or are you too cold to even dance?
I'm
Is that what it
frozen
is?
in place.
Yeah,
It's
just
brutal out, man.
just like I think everything else in Ocean City is frozen in place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just posted a video. I thought it was funny. I was walking in the snow today, which meant I was basically just walking on top of the snow because it's really just a sheet of ice on top of the snow.
It's actually nice. I mean, I'm out 12,000 steps a day walking my dog. And
You're doing those 12,000 steps. Your dog's mostly just sitting there.
no, we're out walking, and it's actually nice because there's so many, vacant properties that the sidewalks don't get shoveled. So instead of walking on through a 8 inches of mess, we're just walking on top of the snow. It's actually slippery, but nice, easier.
Yeah, I haven't shoveled out the old man sedan yet. I got to do that.
I noticed that you're stuck, man.
Yeah, I'm in there pretty good. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think Friday or Saturday I'm going to try and get it out because, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're done with snow here. Even in the month of January, I think we're going to start February off with a couple inches of snow. So,
is that Doppler Dom's forecast?
No, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. There's still so much uncertainty going on, or should I say later today, because I'll probably put this out tomorrow morning. Who knows? Maybe I'll put it out this afternoon. I don't know. But I'm gonna wait till Friday, Saturday to make a call because everything's shifting around. And the one thing that I see right now that's going to be our saving grace is it's going to move fast. So whatever it is, it's going to be in and out pretty quick. So that'll help us on a couple fronts.
Well, getting back to your vehicle there, you're locked in there pretty good, bud.
Yeah, it's pretty well snowed in. Yeah. That's all right, man. Those cars, they're great cars, and I don't think I could ever own a different car at this point. In the snow, though, they are not good. There's just too much torque in the rear wheel drive. Even I don't have X drive, so but I'm not. It's gonna be a shovel.
It's gonna be a task.
My plan is to do it around noon though, because that's when the sun is in a good position. So hopefully I can get a little bit of heat from the sun and break some of that ice up. It's been pretty funny.
It's going to be a balmy 28.
Yeah, on Saturday. It's been fun to watch the people shovel, though. I mean, I've seen people out there with axes and crowbars and anything they can to just kind of try and break it up to even move it. Yeah.
So while we're on the subject, I got to give shout outs to the merchants on Asbury Avenue. I went out Monday right after the storm, noonish, and the Asbury Avenue merchants, who were all responsible for their own properties, the sidewalks were pretty well cleared by noon on Monday. And so shout out to them for doing that. Obviously they're doing it to allow people to get into their business, but it wasn't easy because the snow was, they piled it up along the curb, and then you had all the stuff that was plowed by the city in the streets. It wasn't easy to get there. Well, Monday afternoon, somewhere 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, the city came in with bobcats and guys with shovels and dump trucks and cleared out all the snow, got it all off the curb. I mean, not all, of course, but did a really, really good job of cleaning the snow off the curbs and plowed the parking spots. So it's easy to get a spot. It's easy to get from your car into a store. They did a great job. So credit where credit is due. Great job, Asbury Avenue merchants, and great job by the city of cleaning that all out. So it's accessible and easy to get around. It's really nice down there.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to the Dead End Bakehouse on, I think it's 10th or 11th and Bay. They're actually giving free coffee and breakfast sandwiches to any of the city employees, I think through the weekend, for doing such a great job. So that was pretty cool of them when I saw that. I don't make breakfast sandwiches, so I can't do that, or I would do something similar. But no, they did do a great job.
Yeah.
Maybe they can bring that Bobcat over and help me get in the car. That would be fantastic. City, if you're listening, please stop by. 1 East A Street. I'm there.
8th and Bay.
Dig me out. Let's go.
And be careful with that Beamer.
Dig me out, please. So
next up on the list, Dom, a little bit of news here. The Ocean City School District superintendent announced he is stepping down as of July 1st.
What?
Yeah.
He just got hired. He's the highest paid superintendent in Cayman County at like $206,000 a year. And you're gonna retire?
And he came on board in 2024, leaving in July. So he's 2 years. And, you know, I looked it up. So going back, we had, beginning in 1969, we had a superintendent for 20
That's the year you graduated high school, right?
It's funny. So he was there until 89. Then we had a superintendent from 89 to 2006, so 17 years. And then from 2006 to 2021, which was 15 years. So since 2021, we have had 6 superintendents, 2 permanent, obviously not permanent, but the thought was there, Matt Friedman and this gentleman, and 3 interim superintendents. So in 6 years, 6 superintendents. We'll have the 7th whenever a new one is hired. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know. It's really very odd to have 6 superintendents in 6 years.
Well, it depends on where you are. It really depends on what district you're talking about. I spent 12 years in the public education system here in New Jersey, in some districts that had numerous superintendents, or the same thing. You know, we get a new superintendent every year, every other year. Granted, one of the districts I worked in has been taken over by the state and is still being run by the state, and the other one, let's just say it's teetered on the verge of that. I'm not saying that Ocean City is going in that direction at all. I just think that maybe we look to hire internally. These past 2 permanent, if you will, superintendents came to us via like extensive searches and, a committee that the board paid to help them go out and find the best possible superintendent. Maybe that person's right here in our district currently. So
we will see. We will see.
Yeah, we will see. The board's got another fun task on their hands. So
yeah,
it looks like this. Like every city entity nowadays has got something fun on their hands. Between the school board and the city council, geez, great time to be in local politics here.
So that's next topic. So we are in an election year, and the filing deadline is coming up in February. So we in Ocean City, we are under the Faulkner Act, the Faulkner form of government. So we have a mayor and business administrator and a 7-member council. Every 2 years, we have an election of 4 seats. This year, it's the mayor and the 3 at-large council seats. And then in 2 years, it'll be the ward council seats again. Keith Hartzell has announced that he'll be running for mayor. I'm not sure the announcement has been official, but I believe Jay Gillian is going to run for mayor again. And then again, we have a little less than a month for any other candidate to jump in that race.
Drew Fasy.
Well, it's funny, Dom. I have zero interest in running for office for anything, but something happened this past weekend that really hammered that point home. That I really couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it for a lot of reasons. I'm too sensitive. And 50% of the people hate you the day you're elected, right? And aren't shy about going on social media and telling the world what a rotten person you are. But so during the snow on Sunday, in the house, cooking, whatever. And I went on and watched the most recent city council meeting just to see if there was anything going on. And in the second citizen comment at the end of the meeting, a guy got up, and he's been on there before, probably every meeting. And he started talking about one of the council people who was sitting there, negatively talking about him, that this council person at a previous council meeting had pointed this gentleman out and verbally assaulted him, called him disgraceful, and on and on and on. And he took his whole 3 minutes of public comment to go after this council person and say all these things that the council person did to him at a public meeting and how unprofessional it was. And people are not going to, a friend of his isn't going to vacation in Ocean City because of it and all this stuff. Then his wife gets up and doubles down, does the same routine of how it was disgraceful that this council person pointed her husband out and called him disgraceful and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I don't remember this. I don't remember this happening. He was talking about the planning, the meeting at the Music Pier that council voted to send the 600 Boardwalk property. That was the meeting he was talking about. And so I went back to look at what the council person said, because I didn't remember him physically pointing anybody out or calling them out or calling anybody names or calling them disgraceful. I didn't remember any of that. So I went back. You are old, Drew. I am old. Yeah. That's why I wanted to see if maybe I fell asleep during that portion of the meeting. Took a little nap, but so I went back and I watched the entire thing. The councilman never did that. Never did it. Didn't point anybody out, didn't call anybody by name, didn't call anybody disgraceful. The guy just made it up. He fabricated it. And took the time to go to a city council meeting and stand up there for 3 minutes and go after this council person. Then his wife followed him. My point being, I couldn't put up with that. You know me. I couldn't put up with that. If somebody is standing, and this guy's not alone. It happens all the time. I mean, I remember 25 years ago or 20 years ago, Dr. Steve Fenichel would get up and call the council and the mayor crooked and corrupt. And I couldn't sit there and take somebody, berating me and lying about me and just have to sit there with my hands folded and my mouth shut. I couldn't do it. I'd stand up and have at it with it. We might be throwing hands. I mean, I couldn't do it. So God bless these council people and the mayor and the administration for putting up with this stuff. I don't know how anybody would want to do it, but these guys want to do it. They're serving our city, and God bless them. It's definitely going to be an interesting election cycle. That's for sure. It will be. It will be. And so when we get into it, when it's finalized who's running, Generally speaking, the local voters kind of hide out. They turn their light off on their front door so nobody comes knocking on their door, and go quiet on social media. And then all the people who don't vote go on social media and eviscerate these candidates.
Well,
Right?
we will see.
I mean, that's what's going to happen. People are going to, attack from their keyboards anybody who's running.
Well, there's a lot at stake. For a non-partisan town, we've definitely developed some parties here. I don't think they're exactly Republican and Democrat. They're more, I don't even want to go there, but they're more one direction and another direction. And there's definitely some partisanship at this point. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what prevails in June and
May.
Elections
in May, yeah.
May. I thought it was June. Well, it's coming up quick, thank God. It'll be here before we know it, and we'll go from there. So, but yeah, that's all we got today, man. It's January in Ocean City, and we'll be back once we have some final people who've thrown their hat in the ring and maybe some other stuff. I know there's some a native that wanted to come on and talk. I'd love to have them on. So Drew, if you want to reach out to them and see if they can, come out of their teepee or igloo at this point. And
I haven't reached out, but I will.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard some people throw that name around in contention for some certain things. So we'll see if that's going to be the case.
Oh, and then coming up, we have the Boardwalk, City Council's Boardwalk Subcommittee is making a presentation. I believe it's at the library on February 7th. Wait a minute, time out. It's not going to be any recommendations for 600 Boardwalk. They've made that very clear. They're not making any recommendations for 600 Boardwalk there.
Does it matter, Drew? Does it matter? It's this Boardwalk Subcommittee. There will be hundreds of people in attendance, and the majority of the comments will be directed at 600 Boardwalk and how those people personally feel about the property and why it should remain amusements or why it should become a hotel.
Agreed. And, part of that is, it's an ad hoc committee, right? That was created because of 600 Boardwalk, primarily, right? So everybody's hanging their hat. The city council, the groups opposed to a hotel on that location.
We'll call them party one and party two.
Party one, party two. They're all hanging their hat on the outcome of this subcommittee, right? So rightly so that's going to be the focus.
Yeah. So not to get too deep into the weeds here, because we were about to wrap up, and then you dropped this bomb, like, oh, by the way, there's something going on about the biggest story in town. I forgot about that.
I did forget about it.
So you are old, Drew. That is a senior moment right there, people. Live on air. Anyway, it just brought to my attention, like, there's all this push for this redevelopment zone, right? Like, I think anyone that thinks it doesn't need to go into some sort of redevelopment zone is kind of naive at this point. My question is why can't we negotiate now as to what and get a clear picture of what redevelopment looks like so that everyone can kind of understand what it will be and then vote on it? Because it seems to me like right now we're just voting, should it be redevelopment or shouldn't it be redevelopment? And then once we determine redevelopment or non-redevelopment, then we'll determine what it looks like. Why not now sit down at the table and say, hey, if redevelopment happens, this is what we want. This is what I want. All right, let's come to some consensus. If we like it, then yeah, let's move forward. I think if there were a clearer path as to what things would look like at that point, I think you'd have a lot more buy-in from a lot more people.
I agree with you, Dom. I do.
Because
I think there's probably a legal process that maybe prevents that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
Listen.
I just play one on podcasts.
Speaking of that, speaking of lawyers, the city just I saw that the city just contracted a redevelopment lawyer out of Linwood to help them navigate this process. So,
which I think is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah, I think that's
Great
a smart
thing,
move.
yeah,
I think it's a smart move.
smart. Yeah.
Again, though, Drew,
maybe they should have done it a year ago, and maybe this whole process should be farther along than it actually is. I agree with you, Dom. Totally agree with you.
But listen, like, yeah, I'm sure there's legal processes and there's all these things, but you can't tell me no one's ever had a conversation off the record anywhere in any business dealing ever.
Well, and that was the second thing I was gonna mention, is that there's probably a legal process, but there's also the perception, and people will be very, very quick to point this out. Oh, backroom deals. You're making backroom deals because they're having conversations. That'll be viewed as backroom deals, right?
Yeah, well, if you want to, and I say to those people, and then this is the last comment on it, if you want access to the backroom deals, then put your money where your mouth is. There's a reason there's people invited to those tables. It's because they have a true stake. They've skin in the game. If you want to be invited to the conversation, then put up.
All right, that's it. I'm running for office. Yeah. I want to be at those backroom deals.
Well, Drew, you better get your skin as thick as the fog in your brain.
Yeah,
if you want to run,
it'll never get there.
But no, I mean,
I hear what you're saying, Dom. And you're really making a great point.
I don't think at this point, the infighting and everything just doesn't do good for anybody. So let's figure out what redevelopment will look like. Let's figure out what we can do, and maybe come to not so much some sort of an agreement or anything like that. Just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Okay. And go from there, but to say that that's going to be a sustainable amusement park in the future, it would be great if it was. There's been lots of talk lately about putting a wave pool there.
So I guess,
unfortunately, there's not enough space for it. It's just the site's not big enough. It's not.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up.
Why? What are you going to say? You got something?
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. We'll see. I'm interested to see what comes out of the February 7th Boardwalk Subcommittee meeting. Very interested to see that.
All right. Well, thanks for extending the episode about 7 minutes there for everyone. So, all right, everyone. We'll come back after that February 7th meeting and let you know what came out of it. But until then, stay warm, stay safe. If you want to come to the corner of 8th and Bay and dig out a vehicle, it'd be greatly appreciated. Other than that, guys, we will talk to you soon. This has been the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort.
Peace.
Still too cold to dance. Still too cold to dance.